The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, yeah.
For the sake of candor, let's acknowledge that the world of superstars is not all glamour and glamour. Beneath the lavish homes and red carpets, there's a far darker underbelly, and nobody's reputation has been through the muck quite like Diddy's lately. Here's the twist, though Smith might be me, very much a part of it too. What is coming to light regarding his involvement with dodgy, scandalous gatherings will astound you. It turns out that he may be actively involved in the crimes, rather than just being a bystander. In a desperate attempt to save himself, he has apparently become an informant. Will Smith turned informant, sharing all he saw during Diddy's notorious party.
Not only should he have apologized to Kathy in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied.
Diddy has become the talk of the town due to his suspected involvement in some of the most outlandish scandals to ever shock Hollywood. The two parties, long the stuff of legend, are reportedly the focus of a large-scale inquiry. These gatherings were not merely innocuous social gatherings, they were rife with illicit acts that would make the most outrageous tabloid headlines blush. We are discussing everything from exploitation to compulsion, and the list of those who are supposedly engaged is as long as
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Hollywood a list. And who was present right in the middle of everything? It was obvious immediately that it was Will Smith. You may think that Will had nothing to do with these undercover pranks, given his pristine image, but insiders are saying differently. Diddy and Will seem to have had a bond for a long time, but it's now thought to be far darker than any of us could have ever anticipated. For years.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
Two have been associated with these wild gatherings. The latest story claims that investigators have been tracking Diddy for months or perhaps years in an effort to learn more about some of the most startling scandals to ever shake the entertainment and music industry. When the chips were finally down, Will bailed out and went straight to the police, trying to save face by spilling truths like a leaky faucet. Let's just say that what Will disclosed was
clearly there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
Far worse than anyone could have ever imagined. Insiders have opened up about the bizarre and unsettling behavior that took place. Some have gone so far as to compare these events to something out of a cry book. Whispers about Diddy's secret parties have been around for years, but no one truly realized just how awful things had gone behind closed doors. According to people in the know, these weren't your normal Hollywood parties, rather, they were more like underground clubs where everything went and not in a good manner. In addition to being in the epicenter of the squalid and illegal activities,
he controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
Smith was purportedly there during them. According to reports, Will frequently attended these gatherings and might have even taken part in some of the horrible incidents that took place. Will was not just a spectator. If claims about his involvement are to be believed, he was part of the inner circle. Someone who was fully informed about Diddy's existing circumstances, including the potential for legal action. Will is running like
that. This is the end of the Diddy story, as we know it.
Crazy to escape the catastrophe, and it looks like turning on his. However, this is where things get exceedingly tricky, since Will is enrolling other well-known personalities into the fray in addition to trying to protect himself. There are rumors that Diddy's lawyers have also given information about other well-known celebrities who are in the same predicament as Diddy. Subtle acts are essentially taking over as Hollywood's most well-known informant, exposing details that might bring down some of the industry's most powerful personalities. This might rank among the biggest scandals in Hollywood history.
If he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right?
If the rumors are true. Rumors circulated that Diddy's parties were exceedingly strange, very different from the typical nightlife in Hollywood. Attendees of these events allegedly had to take part in bizarre initiations, some of which included activities that verged on the macabre. These were not carefree get-togethers, but rather well-planned private events where boundaries between excess and reality were completely dissolved. It was believed that those who aspired to be a member of the inner circle were required to demonstrate their allegiance through methods that often left them humiliated or worse. Insiders have spoken of strange...
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
Nauseating rites occurring in hidden chambers. A particular story that has been circulating contains a list of famous people who are supposedly being coerced into actions that nobody could have foreseen. These were sights that would stun even the most hardened Hollywood insiders. These were not your typical party games. It is said that guests were filmed without permission, and Diddy and his crew of power players held their reputations in contempt. This level of control, along with the involvement of celebrities like Will Smith, just makes the situation worse. Will's sudden decision to help law enforcement seems to have been driven more by a desire to do the right thing than...
August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were
by a
separated.
need to shield himself from the horrific charges that are now becoming public. Why would Will do this, of all people? The solution could be found in his own declining reputation. Remember the whole Oscar slap episode with Chris Rock? That wasn't only an instance of poor judgment, rather, it was a sign that Will was losing his once perfect reputation as one of Hollywood's most popular stars, which he had painstakingly built over years. When the public saw a new side of Will, one that was irrational, impetuous, and quite frankly unstable, things started to fall apart. With the Diddy scandal erupting, it seems that Will is trying everything he can to save
my man. This is probably irreparable.
what's left of his career, as the strain to maintain that perfect image seems to have finally gotten to him. The most crucial question, though, is what role did Jada Pinkett Smith play in all of this? You didn't think we'd forget about her, did you? Jada has always been a divisive character, especially when it comes to her relationship with Will. The couple has seen public ups and downs, and their marriage has consistently given the impression of being more of a convoluted business arrangement than a romantic partnership. The first signs of an open marriage were...
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever.
Insiders claim that Jada may have accompanied Will to Diddy's notorious parties. There are many who argue that Jada wasn't merely a spectator but rather actively helped persuade people to join up for these events. Yes, you read it right, insiders say the Smiths might have had a bigger role in the whole thing than merely being visitors. It raises the issue of what more Jada and Will have been hiding for all these years, given how deeply...
Today, all over our social media pages, Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
Entwined they are with Diddy's world, and how aware they are of the darker sides of these occurrences. It appears that this scandal is only growing with each new discovery, and Will may have been far more involved than anyone could have imagined. Will opened a Pandora's box by turning on Diddy, and who knows what kind of fallout he'll unleash next. It seems that Will made this decision in a last-ditch effort to keep himself from being pulled down with the rest of Hollywood's elite. His decision to assist investigators...
Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, you told me before that she was at a party before that they attended, and you said the party was weird?
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird. That whole... Yeah.
Maybe the final straw that topples the entire house of cards. The disturbing thing is that Will didn't come forth out of a pure heart. Instead, sources indicate that he was forced to come out since investigators had apparently already gathered extensive evidence linking him to Diddy's parties and the connected crimes. Will made the decision to avoid confronting the consequences rather than accept them after realizing his time was running out. Challenging it head-on, he worked out
As he approached me, he was like a magnet. It was like
a deal that would ultimately save him, but would destroy everyone else along the way. It remains to be seen how much additional knowledge he possesses about his Hollywood associates. According to insider speculation, he might be putting more famous people in risk, including ones you wouldn't expect to be mentioned in this ongoing probe.
Like that. Because there's a couple of things that really bother me here.
The entertainment industry may suffer greatly if he decides to take this action as a self-defense measure. Not to mention Will's attempts to disassociate himself from the incident and the dynamics within the Smith family. What does this signify for Jada, who has been very silent over this entire process? If she was associated with Diddy's parties in any manner, you can bet that her name will come up sooner rather than later. There may be far-reaching consequences. Although the Smiths have always maintained their unity, this controversy could forever harm their standing. Rumors regarding his and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship.
You love him, and I just never, that was a huge regret of mine. I just I couldn't handle it. I was the soft rapper from Philly, and he was pop.
Date back years, they suggest that their supposedly quirky and loving marriage is actually full of strange behavior and hints of darker, deeper secrets. Not only because of Jada's well-known relationship with Augustelina, which was but one chapter of what many consider to be a much broader and far more complex saga, has
2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Will and Jay's marriage been one of the most widely followed in Hollywood. Rumors and scandals have always been drawn to their unusual dynamic. Let's go back to one of the most early and enduring rumors about the Smiths, the whispers that they have been in an open relationship for years. Will and Jada have been the subject of this myth for almost a decade, with little hints from them that have only fueled the fire. Rumors had been circulating for years suggesting that Jada and Jay were not quite monogamous. According to these claims, the pair knew about each other's aspirations and actively encouraged them, and they had meticulously arranged adulterous affairs with other celebrities. In an interview, Jada had said that she and Jay give each other freedom and trust, and it's what she said has kept their relationship strong. For many, though, this was a subliminal admission that the marriage wasn't quite monogamous.